Okay, hello and good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in with us today. Today, I'm excited for another episode of our Alumni Virtual Engagement Series, a monthly video series where we sit down and talk with a Manor College alumni to hear about their experience as a Manor student and what life has been like since graduating or transferring. Today, we are talking to a Manor College alumni from the class of 2013, John Hoffman. John grew up in Roxborough, PA, graduating from Harrington Senior High. John enrolled in Manor's post-baccalaureate paralegal certificate and graduated from the program in 2013. Since graduation from Manor, John has finished law school, earning his Juris Doctorate from Southern Illinois University School of Law, and is an associate attorney at the Ginsberg Law Firm in Philadelphia. I'm also pleased to be joined by Mary Sims, a Dean of Business, Education, and Professional Studies at Manor. Welcome, John, and welcome, Dean Sims. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So, John, can you start us off by telling us, how did you learn about Manor College and what made you want to enroll in our post-bac paralegal certificate program?
Well, I learned about Manor because during that time in my life, I was moving from Ballackinwood to Huntington Valley. And, during that process, I saw that there was a lot of signs for Manor College in the area. I was also looking at paralegal programs. And I believe Manor was, and I guess still is, it's ABA certified with regards to the program. My understanding that is important for a program to have that. And seeing the size of the place and having been attended a smaller college, I wanted to continue maintaining my relationship with the smaller college, as I feel as though a program within a smaller institutional setting has certain benefits that I definitely appreciate.
Good. Let me ask you, when you came to Manor, you took the post-bac paralegal program. Did that help you at all when you went to law school?
Yes, because in the first year of law school, there's a writing method called IRAC, issue, rule, application, conclusion, and all legal memorandums within the Manor paralegal program are taught to use that writing style. So I definitely had a benefit within my first year of law school, whereas I know as other students definitely studied. Also, it was the first time I had access to Westlaw or Lexis, which is something that all law students and all lawyers use. And just the writing component in itself gave me a definite advantage.
That's great. That's really cool to hear that you felt that Manor prepared you for law school. So, John, tell us, how did you know you wanted to be a lawyer, and what was that like for you? And what was there an aha moment of like, this is what I want to do, or have you kind of always known you wanted this path?
I think I believe I had an internship at the law office of Susan B. Carr in New London, Connecticut. And that's where I learned about the legal writing and research component that I really gravitate towards. Whereas, a lot of lawyering is the administrative stuff and those courtroom battles. And that's initially, that's what I thought that was the only component to lawyering. But when I saw that there was a writing and research component to it, I got really interested into it.
Why do you think you gravitate towards those components? Is it aligned with kind of your personality, or what about that excites you?
I think it gets to the truth of the matter with regards to cases. A lot of the other stuff is just business. And oftentimes when I've been in the courtroom, I get the feeling that the judge already knows what's going on, may have already had a decision that's in his mind. And in a way, there's a lot of performative detail with regards to what goes on in the courtroom, but it's the preparation leading up to that that's important and gives you full picture of everything. And it's really fun to like put those pieces together in preparation for that moment.
True. That's a good point. Yeah, so let me ask you, when you went into law school, just two parts. What did you think you wanted to do when you went to law school? And then what are you doing now? Is it the same?
Well, I think going into law school, I didn't have any idea of what type of attorney I would be. Because up until that point, I had worked within like small to medium-sized firms, and they do a bit of everything. And having perhaps worked as an attorney for a bit, I think one day my goal would be to start my own practice. But before that, I think the dream would be to work at a medium-sized firm where you get great cases, have a great staff, which, you know, is not always the case. But if you find a good workplace like that, that's definitely where I would want to, you know.
That's great. So I want to take it back to the college years a little bit more, just because I think it's really important for our students to hear from other alumni who were at Manor for some point in their journey, and then they now have careers helping people and doing social justice. And that's a really big focus of here at the college. So when you were a student at Manor, were you involved in any activities? What was kind of your experience like as a student that you can remember?
Well, because I was in the post-bachelor paralegal program, I don't remember being too involved in activities. I mainly just would I would sit in class, participate, and then I would speak with the professor after class, and remain in the library. You know, I didn't really participate in any like because at that time I was pursuing a post-bachelor degree, so
Right.
you know, I wasn't as interested in student activities, but I was interested in speaking with professors and
Right.
getting to know the
Did
place.
did Manor play a role in helping you get into law school?
I think it's I mean the main thing that gets you into law school is your LSAT score. But I think admissions would look at that as a bonus, because it is obvious that, I mean, when I went to law school, there was someone else who came from a paralegal program, and they benefited from learning that Iraq writing style as well.
Yeah. You're a good writer too, which was, I remember that you were a very good writer. I think I told you a couple
times. I try to be a good writer. I mean, it can be tough sometimes when you're racing to meet a deadline, or the case you work on is not that great. But one of the things that I try to, you know, really work on is the writing. And that's something that Manor really helped me with, because you're adding fact to law and you're using your own language, you know.
Yeah, no, it's very important. How about so, and when you got your first job, how did you like are you still in the same job, I guess, when you started? How did you like it?
I've changed around a few times, but I actually started working at the law office of Lilly and Pearlstein, which is actually in Huntington Valley, and fairly close to Manor, my parents' house. And it was pretty interesting because it's you know, Eastern European speaking law firm. So you see clients from Uzbekistan, Ukraine, Russia, Moldova. And I enjoyed that aspect for it. I did that for 6 months. And then I decided to switch over to the judicial clerkship. And the way I looked at those two initial positions, it was as I viewed it as a learning experience. because when you're a young attorney, they say like the first 3 to 5 years, you're bouncing around a bit and you're just learning as much as you can.
Yeah, that's true. That's good.
Yeah, for sure. I was reading a little bit about you today, John, on LinkedIn and different things, and I learned that are you a runner? Is that still accurate? Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
great.
Actually just recently ran in the Boston Marathon.
Wow.
No way.
Good for
You
you.
know, I worked pretty hard to qualify for it. And
Yeah.
you know, I run with this club called the Philadelphia Running Track Club, and they meet up on every Sunday at Kelly Drive, which is a great place to run.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's really neat. Well, congratulations. That's no easy feat. But I wanted to tell you that Manor now has a track and field team. We have a cross country team, and it's pretty exciting. Our athletic offerings.
Where's the track that Manor runs at?
We go to a couple tracks, but I believe there's one in Abington High School that we use. I don't entirely know, but we don't have our own track. I know that, but we have a cross country team, and then obviously we have indoor and outdoor track in the fall, in the winter and spring. But you know, what advice would you give to current students who are maybe they're a criminal justice major? We don't offer the post-bac certificate anymore. Which makes me sad, but you know, that's something that we kind of took away from offerings. But we do have a pretty large suite of criminal justice, juvenile justice programs. So what advice would you give to a current student?
Well, I did get my major in criminal justice. And you know, there's two different types of individuals who seem to take on that major. Is one, there's perhaps people who are already working in the field, and you know, maybe the police department will give them a bonus if they complete their degree, or some other incentive. Whereas others, you know, they're just starting out and they picked criminal justice as a go. You know, I'm just going to pick this generic major. But I think, you know, being in that position where I just picked it like, oh, it's just a generic major. What I learned is that early on, when it comes to criminal justice, ultimately what you're going to do is you're going to specialize regards to any profession. And, you know, while you're taking classes within criminal justice, I would definitely emphasize thinking about, you know, getting your master's afterwards, or any types of courses that will help you specialize later on. For example, many criminal justice majors, they may go on to become an EMT, and that's going to require an additional educational requirement as well. So it's not I guess I would say it's not just about taking classes, but it's also learning about what you're going to do afterwards.
Good. Yeah, and also you don't need to have a law degree. You don't need to have like a criminal justice degree or any specific major to go to law school.
Right.
You can have really any major, but as you said, taking the paralegal courses, which we're hoping might come back. And you know, that's really how to do it, because it shows you how to take the cases and do all that. That really was what I think that's a big help to people that are going to law school still. But you can take any major. You could have, I had a friend who was in Russian literature major, but I'm not sure that really helped them that much with the coursework in law school. But still, you know, that's really, I mean, you're definitely doing great. You know, we're really proud that you're an alum here, and you know, we just think that you've done a really great job.
Thank you.
For sure. Well, thank you, John, so much for taking some time with us today. And it was great to hear more of your story. And we wish you nothing but the best, and go Blue Jays.
Okay. All right.